My friends, in another move to strip away the basic human rights and American rights of our people, California Governor Gavin Newsom signs 2 new gun regulation laws prohibiting people from not only carrying concealed firearms, but also doubling the taxes in guns and ammunition sold in the state of California. With federal taxes for guns and ammo already at 10 and 11%, depending on the type of gun, this new law adds an additional 11% on top of all that. Joining us now to discuss these egregious attempts to take away our guns and our right of self-defense is the president of the Crime Prevention Research Center and author of Gun Control Myths, Dr. John Lott. Dr. Lott, great to see you. Let's call it what it really is. These new laws are the equivalent of poll taxes, no?
No, that's exactly right. They can't outright ban the guns, but they just want to make it as costly as possible in many different ways for people to be able to go and obtain guns. You look at universal background checks in California. If I were to, and you and I lived in California, and I give you 5 guns, you'd think it's just John giving Chris 5 guns. So it'd be one background check. But no, they require a separate background check to be done on each gun with a separate fee to be paid on each different background check. You know, they just do many different things like that. And the thing is, if my research convinces me of anything, it's the most vulnerable people who live at poor people who live in high crime urban areas, particularly blacks, who benefit the most from having guns. Who do they think that they're stopping from being able to go and own guns with all these taxes and fees that they're imposing?
Not to mention women. Women are also, that's the great equalizer. And of course, the Democrats' criminals, the Democrats want to give the criminals equal access to victimize women. Anyway, Mr. Biden and Kamala Harris announcing this past week the creation of a new office, the White House Office on Gun Violence Protection, they call it. Boy, this administration is doing everything they possibly can do to radically change gun ownership rights for law-abiding American citizens. Dr. Lott, just like everything else the Democrats do, this is a completely misnamed department, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I think the types of things that the Biden administration is doing is going to increase violence. I mean, we've seen a big increase in violence over the last couple of years. But rather than going and criticizing district attorneys who are refusing to prosecute violent criminals, or liberal judges that have released half or even 2/3 of the inmates from many local jails around the country, their solution is to make it more difficult, more costly for law-abiding citizens to be able to go and protect themselves. And there's so many things that the Biden administration's done. They've put out thousands of gun dealers out of business under their zero tolerance policy. I was just reading a week ago, a man in Texas, a licensed dealer, 15 and 16 years ago, he had made minor typos in 2 different forms. The Obama administration had looked at it, closed the book on it because they said nothing really serious was done wrong there. He's done no other errors in the last 15 years. The Biden administration has gone back and reopened those tiny paperwork mistakes, those trivial mistakes from 15 and 16 years ago in order to take away his license to be a firearms dealer. So they've been doing this thousands of times, making it more difficult, more costly for people to be able to get guns. They've just put out a 108-page new set of rules where on the sale of guns, which are going to basically make it very costly for most Americans to be able to go and buy guns.
Yep. Under Joe Biden, our government has been turned into an adversary against our people. Dr. John Lott, thank you for raising the alarm bells on this one. Appreciate it. Stay tuned, folks. We have more of the Chris Salcedo Show coming your way after the break on NewsMax.